Hi, it's TK with the weekly words of encouragement. The beloved hymn, Great is Thy Faithfulness, is based on the words of Lamentations chapter 3, verses 20 through 23. I will never forget this awful time as I grieve over my loss, yet I still dare to hope when I remember this. The faithful love of the Lord never ends, His mercies never cease. Great is His faithfulness. His mercies begin afresh each morning. These words from the prophet Jeremiah are so encouraging. And what makes this statement even more powerful is understanding the context. Jeremiah is lamenting about the devastating state of affairs for the Israelites. He was weeping out loud for his people. But in the midst of exile and destruction, Jeremiah still found a reason to hope, as reflected in these verses. He was sad because the Israelites were suffering the consequences of their disobedience to God, yet he had hope because he knew the character of God based on his promises and his past behavior, such as miracles he performed, promises he fulfilled, mercies he gave. That's why Jeremiah could say, "The faithful love of the Lord never ends. His mercies never cease. Great is his faithfulness. His mercies begin afresh each morning." I believe we should follow Jeremiah's example and tell God how we really feel. So cry out to him. Tell God what's wrong, how you're feeling. He can handle our sorrow, disappointment, regret, discouragement, grief, you name it. Go ahead and complain or vent to God. That's what it means to lament, to express sorrow, regret, or unhappiness about something. God can handle our laments. And once we've expressed our laments, we should also follow Jeremiah's example of expressing hope in the midst of our sorrows. There are other examples of lament partnered with hope throughout the Bible. For example, the laments of David and others are recorded in the book of Psalms. Of the 150 Psalms, 42 are Psalms of lament. So these types of expressions are common. And many of these laments also include expressions of hope. Psalm 12 is one example of a lament. Help, O Lord, for the godly are fast disappearing. The faithful have vanished from the earth. Neighbors lie to each other, speaking with flattering lips and deceitful hearts. Let's be honest, we could express these same words in today's world. And we see hope in this psalm as well. The Lord's promises are pure, like silver refined in a furnace, purified 7 times over. Therefore, Lord, we know you will protect the oppressed, preserving them forever from this lying generation. The psalmists countered their lament with hope based on the faithfulness of God. So what does this mean for us? We can lament to God, and we can also express hope. Our hope is rooted in God's character, His promises, and His past behavior, so we need to remind ourselves of His faithfulness, love, and mercy. One of my favorite ways to remind myself of God's mercies is through music. In addition to listening to worship music on my phone, I also have the words of a few of my favorite hymns on the wall here in my office. And one is Great is Thy Faithfulness. And you may recall from the last video devotional that the other two are It Is Well With My Soul and How Great Thou Art. Anyway, I wanted a tangible way to reflect on the goodness of God. I can just look up and see the lyrics. This hymn reminds us to trust God's faithfulness and to seek His new mercies each morning. Great is Thy faithfulness, O God my Father. There is no shadow of turning with Thee. Thou changest not, Thy compassions, they fail not. As Thou hast been, Thou forever wilt be. Summer and winter, springtime and harvest, Sun, moon, and stars in their courses above join with all nature in manifold witness to thy great faithfulness, mercy, and love. Pardon for sin and a peace that endureth, thine own dear presence to cheer and to guide, strength for today and bright hope for tomorrow, blessings all mine with 10,000 beside. Great is thy faithfulness. Great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies I see. All I have needed, thy hand hath provided. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me. I pray you are encouraged to express yourself to God, and I wish you a blessed and productive week, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.